Many of us can point to a chapter in our lives that we don't talk about very much. A period that felt dark, heavy, unproductive. A time when we weren't building, achieving, or celebrating milestones. We were just trying to survive. And maybe right now. I was recently speaking with someone who was about to turn 50. She told me, I'm really looking forward to this next decade. Then she paused and said, but my 30s, that feels like the decade I accomplished the least, and it was a decade I like to forget. That was a decade she received very difficult news about one of her children. Life suddenly wasn't about success or growth. It was about holding on, getting through each day, and finding strength where she didn't know she had any. I think many of us can relate. You may look back and say, that was the time I felt the least productive, the least impactful. Or maybe that's the chapter you're living in right now. In this week's Torah portion, we read the story of Yosef, a life filled with dramatic highs and devastating lows. Yosef loses his mother at a young age. He's betrayed and sold by his own brothers. He's falsely accused and thrown into prison for something he did not do. Later, Yosef rises to become the viceroy of Egypt, second in command of the most powerful empire in the world. And we might assume that this is the moment that defines his greatness. But the Torah tells us something surprising. While Joseph was still in prison, alone, powerless, surrounded by darkness, the Torah describes him as a successful man. Successful? In prison? Why? Because even there, Yosef chooses to do the right thing. The Torah tells us that Yosef notices two fellow prisoners, the baker and the butler, and sees that they are distressed. He asks them a simple but profound question. Why do you look sad today? Yosef had every reason to turn inwards, to focus on his own pain, to say, I have nothing left to give, but he doesn't. He noticed someone else, he cares, he helps, and that single act, doing the right thing in the darkest place, becomes the beginning of everything. That interaction leads to Yosef interpreting their dreams, which ultimately leads him out of prison and into the palace. And this is, my dear friend, Chanukah is starting Sunday night. This is the heart of Chanukah. Chanukah is not about overwhelming darkness with blinding light. It's about one small flame in a very dark world. The miracle didn't begin with 8 days of light. It began with a single act. The decision to light even when there wasn't much oil, and even when the situation felt hopeless. Yosef in prison is like the first candle of Chanukah. Small, quiet, unnoticed by the world, but faithful, steady, full of potential. Yosef's greatness didn't begin in the palace. It began when he chose light in the dark. And Chanukah reminds us of that same truth. Sometimes the chapters of life we want to erase, the ones that we feel dark and unproductive, are exactly where our light matters most. If you are in a challenging chapter right now, don't dismiss it. Don't assume it doesn't count. Light one candle, do one good thing, take one step forward. That may be the moment everything begins. Wishing you a meaningful Shabbat, a happy Chanukah filled with light. Good Shabbos.